Hey, get in, loser. New Elon Musk podcast just dropped.
That's what
But
you
they're
did.
going to make everywhere California but worse.
By the way, the middle of the pandemic, I spent 45 minutes on the phone with Elon. He was still in California. I was walking my dog, Snowflake, and trying to convince you, come to Texas. The commies in California can't stand you. We love you. We want you here. And,
Yeah.
and you didn't quite go then, but you went not that long afterwards.
I mean, the COVID actions almost killed Tesla because they let every other auto plant in the country was allowed to open, but ours, which was in California, was not allowed to open.
Wow.
Now, I distinctly remember this situation about 5 years ago. Just to be clear, Tesla was already operating a plant in Shanghai in China and already had protocols in place early during the scamdemic to safely operate an automotive factory. Yet, California, that's why I call it California. Do you understand now? Forcibly shut down Tesla's factory despite the fact that automotive plants throughout the rest of the United States are allowed to open. Why? Because they produce necessary products. Some stuff able to stay open. Just imagine if everything got shut down, right? You'd have no food, no products, nothing. The entire society would implode, people would starve and all die. It was an essential manufacturing service. Yet, California forcibly shut Tesla's factory. So what does Elon do? In short, he says, fuck you, we're opening the factory. If anyone should be arrested, make sure that it's me. Massive balls on this guy. And of course, many people had a meltdown. The media went into total overdrive. Musk was one of the few people speaking out against the futile, fascist, and inhumane shutdowns early in the scamdemic. I too was speaking out against these, and I've got receipts. Just search on X for scamdemic and my username, Stephen Mark Ryan. You'll find them. And Ted Cruz made a very important point. I do refer to California as California for a reason. It's full of communists who hate to see people succeed, hate to see people add value, and hate to see the market reward people for adding value, creating jobs, and innovating.
Wow.
So they almost killed Tesla.
So, as a personal matter, do you ever regret it? Like 5 years ago, you go to the Oscars and we're Mr. Cool, and now you've got death threats every day. Like, do you?
Well, these days the Oscars are boring. I wouldn't want to go.
God bless the movies they nominate. No one on earth has ever seen. Like, could they actually nominate a movie that human beings go watch?
I mean, how many great movies have come out in the last several years? Very few.
Depressingly few.
Yeah, very few. The last Oscars came and went. I didn't even watch it. There's nothing to see.
I was sad that Gene Hackman just passed away because Unforgiven was spectacular, but that was a long time ago that Unforgiven came out.
You mentioned today here and before about the possibility of someone wanting to take you out, dealing with the death threats.
It's not in my imagination. You can just look on social media.
Yeah.
But like, is it
They make that
because
very clear.
Yeah, and look, I'm very familiar with that.
And they've got signs. There are people with signs and demonstrations saying that I need to die.
Do you think, are these just whack jobs, or do you think
Well,
there
definitely whack
are
jobs. Hopefully.
foreign...
They're not sane people.
Yeah.
Do you think there are foreign entities behind this? Do you think there are domestic entities behind the threats and also the attacks to Twitter, or not Twitter, Tesla? I mean,
It'll be interesting to hear how Elon answers this, but my hunch is all of the above. Most of these people involved in these alleged protests are mentally unstable. Many are paid actors being funded by left-leaning outlets who have something to lose by a project relating to Elon Musk, whether it's Department of Government Efficiency finding fraud and waste in the US government, whether it's X allowing people to freely share their thoughts, opinions, ideas, and maybe even question the one true narrative, whether it's an unhinged adult virgin who's lost a lot of money shorting Tesla stock over the last decade. There are many people, for many reasons, none of which are fair or reasonable or sane, that would prefer Elon Musk wasn't around. Yet the guy continues to demonstrate courage, character, a spine, and balls. He's trying to be useful at great personal risk. He didn't need the heat. He didn't need to take the arrows, but he signed up voluntarily. It's a great example. And many who lack the traits that Musk has, including courage, really hate seeing it on display from Elon.
I mean, you're getting Tesla's charging stations lit on fire. Do you think that's organized and paid for?
Yes. At least some of it is organized and paid for. I think by domestic, basically left-wing organizations in America, funded by left-wing billionaires, essentially.
Is it like Act Blue or what?
Act Blue is one of them. Arabella, the classic. It's funded by the blue, basically the left-wing NGO cabal.
how big of a threat is this to what you build at Tesla? I mean, I remember when Teslas came out, it was people that they didn't want to have gas cars. A lot of it was environmental reasons. I jokingly said, I was like, I'm a Texas guy. I'm always going to have something that burns gas. My kids now, all three of my boys, think that that Teslas are awesome. The Cybertruck is the car they want their dad to buy, which I laugh because I never could have imagined that 5 years ago. And now I'm looking at...
Well, we're at the White House and the president's Tesla's parked right outside the West Wing, which is the coolest damn thing.
But I mean, you've changed a generation. When you look at my kids are 6 and 8, and they're going, Dad, buy a Cybertruck, and I'm considering it. That's a full circle. And
Imagine my shock, but not actually. But I've talked about this in the past and predicted it. Some conservatives, the right-wing Republicans, a little bit slower to adopt. And these kind of comments, right, 5 years ago, he's pointing out, I was joking, or not even joking really, I'll always have something that burns gas. This was very common. A lot of people turning their nose up at electric vehicles, in part because of the early support from super deranged leftards who think that the world's going to be 500 kilometers underwater in 3 days because global warming. So some mockery of climate alarmists. But in addition, I think deep down there was also a recognition that many of the economies that are dependent on the fossil fuel industry, job creation, and then obviously jobs means money flowing through the local economy. If that's threatened, if the fossil fuel industry goes away tomorrow, if the oil and gas industry dwindles rapidly, there's going to be massive economic disruption and distress. So it's almost like subconsciously people saw that as a legitimate threat, which gave them additional incentive to troll electric vehicles. This is why Trump, when he was campaigning, when he was in one of the states that's dependent on the fossil fuel industry, would troll electric vehicles. It was all tongue-in-cheek, but he knew his audience. He was speaking to their fears and concerns. But Elon is on the record going back the better part of at least half a decade or more, pointing out the obvious, that the world currently needs fossil fuels, otherwise everything would implode. The transition to electric vehicles, to battery energy storage, to solar, is necessary, but it will take time. Yet here we have 5 years later, suddenly, somebody who openly admits, look, I was one of those guys saying, EVs, I'm always going to have a gas guzzler, is now saying his 3 kids desperately want a Cybertruck, and he's considering it. This is going to continue to happen. In addition to many anecdotes, people who have Tesla referral codes seeing a massive increase in the number of people using their codes to buy Tesla vehicles. And anecdotes from people actually working at Tesla also saying that the order flow is crazy. And we've just heard today, even in China, the Model Y has had a price increase. Google Trends, worldwide, past 90 days, search term, buy Tesla. Check this out. A huge surge when Trump purchased his Tesla. And for those who don't know, Google Trends, this is all relative search interest, meaning there's always going to be a 100. That's the high watermark. This was the Trump Tesla purchase. Prior to this, relative interest 24, 25, let's just call it 25, right? So it roughly increased 4 times, quadrupled. But that's not where the story ends. Today, as I record this, we're still at a 63, meaning at least a doubling, so far a sustained doubling in interest for Tesla. Curiously, it had dipped down to a 41, so little less than a doubling, still massively elevated, but then a huge surge almost overnight. What the fuck happened overnight? Does anyone have any ideas? What could have happened to cause a meaningful increase in the number of people searching buy Tesla globally in the last 24 or so hours? I mean, it's bounced from 41 to 63. It's up about 50%, which was already up about 50% or maybe 100%. So what's going on? Does anyone have any ideas if anything relating to Tesla happened recently? So I just decided to head over to X and check out my favorite X account. Maybe that guy, 3 first names, can give you some insights into what's happened relating to Tesla. The stock's down like 5% today. What's this? Don't worry, it's just a coincidence. Looks like he's showing the one-day stock move of both Tesla and Luminar. Ooh, Luminar's up 27.13%. Wow, that's a lot. I wonder if anything positive happened for Luminar in the last 24 hours. Let's do some digging here. What's he reposting? Red flags. Oh, okay, interesting. What's this say? Today, Luminar's stock is up 27% on the first trading day since Mark Rober's very fair and reasonable video in which he borrowed a vehicle using Luminar LiDAR. But don't worry, they didn't sponsor the video. And, according to feedback, unfairly smeared and misrepresented Tesla software technology and safety. Are we going down another rabbit hole? This was also quoting something. Don't worry, Mark, if there are written communications between you and the Luminar company seeking assurance that this video would be posted before their Q4 earnings call, which is on the 20th of March, 2025, ideally on a weekend outside of trading hours, that is not a problem and you have nothing to worry about. And this was in response to this post full of red flags, which, all caps, I wonder if he's being sarcastic here, read, don't check the date that Luminar reports Q4 2024 earnings, which is this week, because it is not this week. And there is nothing suspicious to see here at all. It's just a coincidence. Don't worry, bro. Everything is fine. Some guy, SMR420, strange handle, wrote, wait, is this guy being sarcastic? I just noticed the earnings date is March 20th and this extremely misleading video that appears to trash Tesla in favor of a LiDAR company, a technology that Elon Musk has said is a fool's errand for autonomy and companies using it are doomed, is 1 day old. All right, we're going to have to keep digging on this guy's profile. I think there might be something here. He also writes, but don't worry, it's not like Mark is friends with the Luminar CEO or anything. Plus, even if he is, that is irrelevant. I don't know why I would even say it. But wait, there's more. This one. A post from Mark Rober with a community note. Absolutely destroying him. This guy with 3 first names writes, absolutely bodied by community notes. This guy apparently actually double-checked and confirmed that the community note, I can't even talk, I'm so excited, was accurate. The community note, in response to Mark Rober, who posted on X, here is the raw footage of my Tesla going through the wall. Not sure why it disengages 17 frames before hitting the wall, but my feet weren't touching the brake or gas. It means accelerator. Community note, this footage appears to be different video than the published YouTube video. And can confirm it was in fact different footage. Autopilot was engaged at a different speed. It was a very easy thing to catch. I mean, I'm not sure why Mark would post, here is the raw footage of my Tesla going through the wall, and post footage that wasn't the same footage that was used in the YouTube video where they showed the Tesla quote going through the wall. Now, look, in Mark's defense, obviously, videos are highly scripted. There's probably multiple takes for lots of different things. But if you're going to try to defend yourself and exonerate yourself after getting insane amounts of criticism for what appears to be a very misleading anti-Tesla video featuring a Luminar product, a company whose CEO you claim to be friends with, you would think that you would post the raw footage that matched up with what people saw on YouTube. I mean, maybe there was multiple takes, so post all the takes, not just one. That's kind of a little bit suspicious. And apparently, this post from the guy with 3 first names is doing some numbers. 3.1 million people have seen this. Seems to be getting a bit of engagement. Apparently, it gets worse, so let's read the rest of this thread. This still frame for the YouTube video, which does not match the raw footage Mark posted, shows the Tesla at 39 miles an hour approaching this wall. How many takes are there to do? And why was more than one take needed from inside the vehicle? Why do you need more than one take inside the Tesla? And look, I understand the argument. Well, you do multiple takes. Maybe you mispronounced a word on that one and they wanted it. Okay, that's fine. But then if you're going to claim you're posting the raw footage on Twitter to exonerate yourself, post the fucking raw footage. All the takes. Unless, of course, there's something to hide. But wait, there's more. There is no valid reason for multiple takes inside the Tesla, showing the display as you approach. Because, and this is a fair point from this guy, 3 first names on X, this is presented to the audience as a test. It's not B-roll. It's not a second angle. And this screenshot that he posted here is a different take than the raw footage posted by Mork. Yet, it's presented as if it was footage of a test that was conducted, not multiple takes. Why? But wait, there's more. Wait, what? What's this? A still frame from the video with a... that's interesting. Very interesting. Let's read the caption here. What the fuck is this? A pre-cut cartoon-style explosion for the Tesla to smash through? Mork will, of course, say, well, we just did it because it looks cooler. And by the way, that's true. But what if the Tesla vehicle didn't follow the script? Then what? Would his team still have posted the video showing the pre-cut hole in the wall if the Tesla didn't smash through? And the icing on the cake, why in the flying fuck is there a mannequin of a child positioned directly behind this pre-cut hole in the wall? Why? Oh, thank fuck, I was wondering, but this guy actually answered his own question. Oh, I know why the mannequin was there now. To scare low IQ and or low information people into thinking Teslas are dangerous. And what's this? A leaked photo of Mark's reputation after this video. That's pretty funny. I might follow this guy on X. How do I follow? Oh, wait. That's me. Oh, I can't follow myself. Well, I'll like this post. That's how good it is. Oh, and what's this? Note the fake shrapnel from the wall. The shards are way thinner than the actual wall was. So let's have a look here. Oh, yeah. Can confirm the wall. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's like a foot thick or so. Maybe if you're lucky, that's an inch or inch and a half or something. I'm sure there's an inappropriate joke somewhere there, but let's move on. Obviously, this is for a dramatic effect and it looks cool. But man, it sure would have sucked to go to all that effort if the Tesla didn't follow the script. Then what? Hey, what's this? We're over on X. Matt Smith posts best comment on the Mark Rober video. Next, Mark's video will be like, can you engineer your way out of a lawsuit? By the way, just some receipts here. Posted back January 2nd, 2022 from Mark Rober. We freaking did it thanks to the 600,000 who calls. Yeah, of course, people got donations. He points out that he received some help from his buddy Austin Russell for the final push. Austin Russell, CEO of Luminar Technologies. That's interesting, isn't it? And well, I love X, and I was reading X, and Kevin posted a regular on Jimmy Kimmel. I should have known. Now, Jimmy Kimmel is, I know him for two reasons. One, he on air called Elon Musk a, quote, fully formed piece of shit. Of course, he is an NPC working for the left-leaning machine, a propagandist on late-night television who claims to be funny and has a bunch of NPC in the audience who laugh at anything he says. Give the impression that he's funny, but he's not. He's a total hack. He also cried like an absolute fucking soy poison pussy with dangerously low levels of testosterone recently on air about, I think it's something to do with Trump. Like, fuck off, mate, you pussy. Grow up hair. So I thought, Jimmy Kimmel has a massive issue with Elon Musk And Kevin claims that Mark Rober is a regular on Jimmy Kimmel. Huh? Jimmy Kimmel, Mark Rober, I search. And what do I find? Guest host Mark Rober. Wait, on Jimmy Kimmel Live. What? Our friend and former NASA engineer. Oh, God, it's everywhere. Steps in as guest host. Huh, that's weird. What's this? Another one. Do you know who Mark Rober is? Guest host Mark Rober. Jimmy Kimmel and other TV stuff from Mark Rober. It appears... Ooh, that's interesting. Jeez, he's getting some good speaking fees. It appears that that comment may be factual. Mark may in fact be a guest, if not at least a guest host on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Huh. I almost feel like yesterday that guy with 3 first names made a video and joked out loud, oh, we certainly don't know who Mark voted for in the most recent US presidential election, which was tongue-in-cheek because obviously Orange Man bad, therefore it couldn't possibly have been Orange Man bad, so what's the alternative? And now we have this. Jimmy Kimmel, a puppet with a left-leaning propaganda machine, and apparently Mark himself has guest hosted this. Oh, geez. This just gets better and better and better, unless you're Mark. Now, that was a very long detour, but I thought it might add some important context as to what's going on right now. The swamp, the machine, the corruption, the pigs with the snouts in the trough. Everything evil has a big problem with Elon Musk trying to be useful and save US taxpayers' money. Many of these protesters, quote unquote, are being funded, organised centrally, to create a false impression. It's a massive psychological operation to trick people into thinking the public is turning against Tesla. There are a few isolated incidents, but as soon as one of these appears, the media just ferociously jerks off, covers it 24/7, and programs NPCs. I mean, maybe a recent example of NPCs being programmed was to think that Trump loves Nazis or Elon's a Nazi, or wait, hang on, I remember the scamdemic when everyone was panicking? Yeah. Been there, done that. So, what we're seeing now, even though this is an anecdote, we're seeing lots of these anecdotes. People on the political right, conservatives, who previously, 5 years ago, self-admittedly laughed at the idea of an electric vehicle, now are highly, strongly considering one. Imagine that.
Cybertruck, and I'm considering it. That's a full circle in a weird way.
Yeah. Well, I do have this theory that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. So, yeah, it seems often to be true. You see, like, what twist or turn of fate would generate the highest ratings? If we were a TV show, what twist or turn of fate would generate the highest ratings? There's a good chance that happens.
Well, I will say if Act Blue and Arabella Networks...
Act Blue is a huge scam, next level.
Do you think it's foreign money, Chinese money? Where do you think the money in Act Blue is coming from? And how do you figure that out?
Well, it's not coming from a whole bunch of from a groundswell of public support, because when individual donors are looked at in Act Blue, a bunch of them turn out to be like diehard Republicans,
right?
People that have never given money in their life. So you're going to track down a bunch of these people where it says, "Oh, I gave $16,000," and they're like, "I didn't give $16,000. What are you talking about?"
Just to be clear, this is accurate. It's a deep fucking rabbit hole, bro. You see these alleged donations from people, some of them, by the way, far beyond their potential means. Low-income people giving substantial donations. You actually talk to these people like, I didn't fucking do that. I mean, this is some dark, deep shit. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, just look at it. So what Musk is saying here is verified information, not just some random conspiracy theory. It's almost like people with very deep pockets are falsely using other people's identities and distributing smaller donations to try and avoid detection of where the money's actually coming from, centralized, very wealthy leftists, and then funding protests against people who are sniffing around for corruption. How curious.
If those Republican friends of mine found themselves on the Act Blue list, and they're like, it definitely wasn't me. So that's...
If it can actually be shown that they are funding firebombing of Tesla charging stations, that's objectively a criminal act. That is funding terrorist activity, right. and the statutes make clear that an incendiary device qualifies. So that's a big
down
deal.
Is a terrorist activity. Yeah.
Wait, what are we looking at here on X? Somebody posts, "Hi, Elon Musk. Yesterday, I had an informant infiltrate one of the protests at a Tesla dealership, and they told her a few things. 1, these protests are only happening in contested congressional districts. They're being funded by 501c4 charities, quote unquote, being given dark money from Democrat politicians of these districts. They're organised through Facebook groups since X is monitored by pro-Elon people. Here's a copy of their prepared anti-Elon chants." Now, this is, of course, just some random person posting on X. This could be fake, but let's read it anyway. Number 1, who's got the power? We've got the power. Oh, God, these chants, I'm not even going to chant. I'm just going to read them verbatim. 2, get up, get down. There's a protest movement in this town. My God, how creative is that? 3, hey ho, hail no, or hell no? I don't know. Elon Musk has got to go. Geez, they're very creative. No Elon, no peace. No Elon, no peace. Oh, God. This is straight up NPC programming right now. Say it enough times, it must be true. Whose government? Our government. Tell me who's above the law. Nobody's above the law. What do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? Now. These notes might have come from the Ministry of Truth. We are here to mobilise, fighting back against their lies. When Musk says cut back, we say fight back. When Musk says take away, we say no way. Wow. Yeah, how dare Elon sniff out any corruption in the US government. And the next one, democracy is under attack. What do? Stand up, fight back. Foreign aid is under attack. You get the point, right? The last one, whose rights? Our rights. Whose country? Our country. Whose money? Our money. Now this is interesting. Our money. Wait, are you telling me that the people who are writing the scripts for the paid protesters are literally instructing the paid protesters to chant that it's their money? The money, the waste and the fraud that's being reduced in the US government? I mean, you don't want to say that out loud. The sense of it being their money, it's US taxpayers' money being taxed and then misspent, misappropriated, wasted, it's not their money. It's taxpayers' money. It's a privilege to have access to that capital. It should be spent very conservatively and reasonably on things that actually matter. This is crazy. But obviously, this is just totally a fake picture, not actually real instructions that were provided for the fake paid protesters.
Let me ask AI. In 10 years, how is life going to be different because of AI for just a normal person?
Well, 10 years is a long time. In 10 years, probably AI could do anything better than a human can, cognitively. Probably almost, I think in 10 years, based on the current rate of improvement, AI will be smarter than the smartest human. There will also be a massive number of robots. So humanoid robots.
By the way, I got to ask, how come your robots look so much like the creepy robots for my robot? Was that intentional or just...
I was hoping he was going to say, yeah, just to mess with you.
It's not meant to look like any prior robot. And we'll iterate the design. You'll be able to have... A lot of the robot parts are cosmetic. You'll be able to switch out the kind of snap-on cosmetic parts of the robot, make it look like something else if you'd like. Mm-hmm. So there will be ultimately billions of humanoid robots. All cars will be self-driving.
And of those billions, plural, of humanoid robots and all of those many, probably tens of millions of self-driving cars, I wonder how many of those will have been manufactured by Tesla. Even a small percentage is going to be some seriously enormous numbers when you think about the ongoing software subscriptions to operate those autonomous vehicles and those intelligent, useful, capable humanoid robots.
In 10 years?
In 10 years, probably 90% of miles driven will be autonomous.
Huh. Wow. That fast?
Yeah. In 5 years, probably 50% of all miles driven will be autonomous.
Now, if AI will be...
Yo. First time I've heard that, at least, I think. First time I've heard that from Elon. In 10 years, a long time, right? Did he just say 5 years, roughly half of all miles driven will be autonomous? I think he did just say that. Staggering implications for Tesla's financials and, of course, society in general. I dare you, do the math. How many miles are driven on Earth today? Multiply half that number by a reasonable cost per mile and then figure out what's Tesla's profit on those miles. Make sure you've got something to clean up after you do that.
Smarter than any person. How many jobs go away because of that? And what do people do if you've got millions of people that are losing their jobs? Like that, a lot of people are understandably freaked out about that.
Well, goods and services will become as close to free. So it's not as though people will be wanting in terms of goods and services.
So why is that? Why are goods and services free in an AI world or close to free?
Well, you have, I don't know, call it tens of billions of robots. That they will make you anything or provide any service you want for basically next to nothing. It's not that people will have a lower standard of living; they'll have actually a much higher standard of living. The challenge will be fulfillment. How do you derive fulfillment and meaning in life?
Extremely important point. I've been mentioning this now for better part of half a decade. This is no joke. Especially, trigger alert, for men. 95% of women will find a life of fulfillment, meaning and purpose by raising a wonderful family. Men are not the same. That's a nice to have. But bro, if we don't have a clear mission and purpose, we spiral. Think about any guy you know. Raging alcoholic, drug addict, whatever. How did it start? Probably a lack of meaning and purpose, a job loss, a loss of career, etc. I mean, this is crisis level stuff around the corner. You're going to have a crisis of meaning and purpose, which will massively disproportionately affect men more than women. Not to say it won't affect all men and won't affect all women, but bro, this is a serious tidal wave of turmoil just around the corner.
Is Skynet real? Like you get the apocalyptic visions of AI. How real is the prospect of killer robots annihilating humanity?
20% likely, maybe
Wow.
10%.
On what time frame?
5 to 10 years.
So soon, like you see a world where that's possible.
Yeah, but I mean, you could look at it like the glass is 80 to 90% full, meaning like 80% likely will have extreme prosperity for all.
Now, I guess my view, we're in a race to win AI. We're in a race with China. And my view is if they're going to be killer robots, I'd rather they be American killer robots than Chinese. How likely are we winning right now? Is America winning right now? And how likely is America to win the race for AI vis-a-vis China or anyone else?
For the next few years, I think America is likely to win. Then it will be a function of who controls the AI chip fabrication. The factories that make the AI chips, who controls them? If more of them are controlled by China, then China will win.
More of the factories that are making the AI chips. You think that will determine it?
Yes.
And how are we doing versus China on that front?
Well, right now, almost all the advanced AI chip factories, they call them fabs, are in Taiwan.
And what if China invades
69
Taiwan?
miles away from.
Yeah. What happens if China? If China invades Taiwan, what happens to the world?
Well, if they were to invade in the near term, the world would be cut off from advanced AI chips.
He ain't wrong. Worth contemplating the implications of that one. Hey, look, breaking news just in time. Posted from Sawyer Merritt. News, Mark Rober has just responded in a new interview to some of the questions revolving around his recent Tesla video. Here's a brief summary. 1. His answer on why he used autopilot and not Tesla's FSD. Quote, my understanding with FSD is that you have to enter an address for it to work. By the way, that is not true. Now, of course, if we're a conspiracy theorist, I'd think maybe he could just pretend to be innocent. I mean, he does drive a Tesla. Maybe just pretending, but I thought you needed an address, so therefore we couldn't use FSD. Not true. I'm not going to read all this. You guys can pause if you want to see all of the context. 2. His take on autopilot, disengaging half a second before hitting the wall. Quote, I don't know why it would disengage. I was not pulling on the steering wheel. My guess is maybe the ultrasonic sensors just disengage if they sense that something big is there. I don't have a horse in this race. I love my Tesla. I'll probably get a new one when they come out. Wait, I don't have a horse in this race. What's this? Mark Rober previously received a multi-million-dollar donation from Luminar founder and CEO Austin Russell associated with an ocean cleanup project. Oh, that doesn't mean anything, does it? Nah. But does Mark's friend, CEO of Luminar, have a horse in the race? By the way, in totally unrelated matters, again, Luminar stock up 27% today and they report earnings this week. The video dropped on the weekend prior to the week they report earnings outside of trading hours. Total coincidence, of course, though. But don't worry, Mark doesn't have a horse in the race. Wait, what's this? Mark Rober, Jimmy Kimmel, Google Images. Oh, that's right. I forgot he guest hosted the Jimmy Kimmel show. A couple of photos, another one. He does appear like he's a bit of a guest. Oh, and another shot of these two, boyfriend, or are they, I don't know. Another one, Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, geez, these guys, there's a lot of photos of these guys together. Are they buddies? What's going on here? It does appear that they are seen together often. But don't worry, Mark doesn't have a horse in this race. And Mark certainly isn't the actual horse in this race, and this wouldn't be his jockey. What's this? This is Jimmy Kimmel. I wonder what he's got to say.
You know, I keep wondering when this bromance between Trump and Elon Musk is going to blow up like a SpaceX rocket. But for now, at least, it appears to be going strong.
He's done a fantastic.
Is Jimmy Kimmel trying to drive a wedge between Trump and Musk? And why would you make a reference to a SpaceX rocket blowing up? It's just so petty. But don't worry, Mark doesn't have a horse in this race. What's this? A since deleted post on X from Jimmy Kimmel, who wrote, "It has been interesting over the years to watch you blossom from the electric car guy into a fully formed piece of shit, Elon Musk. But don't worry, Mark doesn't have a horse in this race, or multiple horses in this race. It's all just a coincidence. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. And look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.